Hello, Buzzerines, and welcome to this episode of Automation Building Stuff, or whatever you might decide to call it, where today we are in 1957, and we have a whole bunch of vehicles, actually. I think this one's probably the most relevant to what we're doing, but we do need to build a pickup truck, and we can probably deselect anything that's not a pickup truck. So here we'll have the few vehicles left that we can use. We have a pair even of 55 vans, which can also be pickup trucks, but they are very short wheelbase, so we won't be able to use those. The next down are 49s, and they're a lot more reasonable actually. This one seems a little too big, personally, for a smaller pickup truck, but we are going from a more American style, so I don't know. Maybe we would go with 2.6 meters. Yeah, I think we'll give this one a try. I think it's the best shot we've got at building something. Now, it is 57, so we've got a decent amount of technology available, but we won't be using it because it's an industrial vehicle. It needs just what you use. We can have a very interesting setup here. We could have solid axle, coil front, and leaf rear. I think we'll have leaf front and rear, perhaps. Although I believe trucks of this era would more often have double wishbone front, but I don't know for certain. I think I'm going more hardcore off-roading route and just going with leaf springs, but I don't know. I feel that would be better for comfort, and I guess it would be better for off-roading as well. I am going for a more light-duty truck here. We're not going for the ultra heavy-duty Ford F500. It's more of an F100 specification. Now, I know what I want to target in terms of power, but I don't know how I'm going to go about it. Because I think it's about 210 horsepower is good for this day, but in all my researching this, it confuses me. There's just so many different configurations of engines available, and I'm not really certain which the best engine is for the car. Like, a more powerful engine would be available in 1958, but it wouldn't necessarily be available in a truck. I'm not sure of that, though. That's my complaint, really. There's just no major information. We've got a 4-litre V8 here. I'm thinking if we go with a 3.5 litre, it's a more European size, but I think I can make it work, personally. Maybe we could even go with overhead cam now. It's a truck. We're not going all out on the technology when it's a pickup truck. So, there we go. I think I've set that up, yeah. I've set that up to rev as high as possible. Although it's a push rod, so it naturally just won't like revving, because push rods are like that. We have this stuff here. I'll get back to that in a moment. I think you could have a 4-barrel carburetor, but a single one, if that makes sense. Automation doesn't give us that option. They are sometimes behind real life on these things. There's actually fuel injection on one of the Chevrolet engines, a very early form of fuel injection, but 1957 was the first year, I believe, fuel injection available on the Corvette. So maybe it would have been hideously unreliable, I don't know, but that's the way things turned out to be. We can go with a standard intake and regular leaded fuel. So we want to bring the fuel mixture down for better efficiency or economy or whatever. I don't know what I'm targeting here. The only thing I could find about efficiency in the 50s, with some very brief research, was on average it's something like 13.8 miles per gallon. But I don't know if I even trust the source that's saying that. So, it's a thing to bear in mind. I just don't know if I can be sure. I just have to use that as something to aim for. So what do we have in terms of cost here? Now in the 50s, max power goes up massively with short cast from cast log, but that's to be expected. Material costs are low on here, but why? I feel that shouldn't be, because that's aluminium. That would have been really expensive back in the 50s. So just for period correctness, I guess, I'm going to go with short cast, since it is still cast iron, you know? It's still not fancy aluminium technologies. And it is a work truck as well, so we want it to work and just work efficiently, should I say. Uh, Mufflers. We'll need a muffler, yeah. We're not talking crazy industrial machines. We do want to spend a bit of money on refinement, even if it's not a lot of money. So what have we got? Why am I even trying to adjust this now? No? So I think we need a small exhaust. Small dual exhaust, I like to think. And that is very small dual exhaust. So I think we need to readjust something. As I was saying, pushrod doesn't really rev, so we can push that cam profile right up, and we have got power. It is not a lot of power, as I said. I think 200 horsepower should be good. It's a start. It really is. 122, I see. That's a pretty solid power figure, though, just for a beginning. And we've got serious valve flow. My engine is actually holding together nicely. It's just the valve flow is all there. And how low does this need to go? Oh, I'm reducing the performance index. I'm trying to adjust this stuff and my mind is kind of all over the place. 4,800 RPM rev limit. That is low. It's diesel almost. However, it works with the exhaust diameter. A tiny dual exhaust system. And maybe this is why you don't build an engine this small in America in the 50s. It gets embarrassed. Let's see what we can get from it. I do like it. I'm thinking actually, although it's against American convention, maybe I could go down to a 3-litre V8 and direct acting overhead cam. It gives the power, that's for sure, or at least it does at 3.5 litres. Although this is really inline 6 territory we're walking on here. And it's not like it's going to struggle to rev, so I think we're going to have what's very much an inline 6. This is going to be our high-end engine, remember. So we're going to do a bit of a strange thing here by keeping what should be a low-end format, I guess for the time at least, and putting it into the high-end. There we go. It doesn't like the length, which I should say surprises me, but then we have to remember this isn't really an American body I'm using. I'm probably using a more European body. What do we have? We have things here. Yep, cam profile is still at that low point. We can bring that up though, and that is causing knocking, okay. This is a bit of a problem now. Oh dear. I made a bit of a problem occur on my vehicle. Again, I could go with fancy materials, but I don't want to go that route. Yeah, it looks like just a huge V8 is the way. Oh, no, I fixed the knocking. As it turns out, it wasn't a mechanical error, as I had feared. 6,900 RPM it can rev to. So it says, and I don't think this is going to really compete. Unless I'm still marketing it as a lower tier engine. It's almost like I'm going for a power war that doesn't exist. We've got a single 2-barrel carburetor though. That can be upgraded. Because as I was saying, I believe the V8s and the higher variants of the engines would have used multiple barrels but on a single carburetor. There we go. And we have our low revving engine of choice. It would be an inline 6. This is me after all. I think because of how it struggles to fit in there though, I'm thinking I will go back to a V8. How does the exhaust affect it? Unless I can get masses of power out of here, of course. And I kind of can, you know. I'll have to see what I can do. I'll have to see how I can play around with the figures, maybe make it push rod again, but now is not the time to do that. Now is a time to move on, really. So here is our truck. That looks really small to me. And it just doesn't look American. So even if it's older, I think we're going to have to go with what's clearly a Ford F100 or go with this one. How is this? Does this look... It could look American. I'll say that. I'll say it could look American, which is good enough for me. Close enough. Close enough, as we say on this channel. We'll go back. I can't seem to form the bodywork. I'm messing around, but again, it doesn't want the bodywork moving and morphing and everything. Ooh. Did I see somewhere I could grab? No? Okay. Again, I don't want to use the F100 because it's that old and it's not really relevant anymore, if that makes sense, to the industry. But if that's what we have to do, we'll have to use what is clearly an F100. I do have some blobby 90s headlights. That's a thing. Oh dear. So here we have our variants. Interesting, I can seem to form this, but I couldn't form it before. I don't know. Give it a bit more cabin space. And we'll trail that out, perhaps. So there we go. Ford F100 not. We can go and add some lights, as they would back in the day. Come on. You can go here. And I don't know if these are gonna quite fit. It looks a little scared at the moment. We'll add some chrome. There we go. What do we have for the lower grills that we could add? Ooh. This is a Ford grill, but from a different Ford, I believe. So, yeah, let's basically build a hot wad. See if we can... Ooh. Yes. No. I can't seem to get these to overlap. I was going to do a complete Dodge Charger thing with it, but I don't think it's going to work. And you can move up. There we go. I think there should be a move back. Or move forwards. Okay, let's move back as much as it can go. Oh no. Don't mess too much. There we go. And we have something. I don't know. You have to be chrome, don't you? You just don't work in red. In red you have to be chromed. And then we need some indicators as well. We also need these to be a little smaller. So you can go bigger. You can go hopefully upwards a little. There we go. And then we can add other bits. I don't know. The Ford had a bumper, so if we have a bumper bar... Ooh, this one looks tasty to me. Nah, it's not gonna work. Or is it? Nah, it kind of has to all scale at once, but just look at that. It looks kind of crazy. If only I could get a... Well, you can. You can get a plastic bumper bar. The Ford wasn't plastic again. I think the Ford was just black metal as opposed to plastic, although it looked virtually the same to me anyway. We can go and do that. This has become just how well can I whip off a Ford F100 now. It does look like a Chinese knockoff of an F100. Only the Chinese are actually a lot better at knocking things off these days. Yeah. Not gonna work. We need some indicators. These ones, I think, are new. I think these are a mod. However, there we go. Just see them below there. They actually look, I think, really nice. And it's not the prettiest car in the world, but stylistically it does a job. And I guess that's what these trucks are all about. So, you know, I can feel it's well enough done. Close enough. Yeah. Win the award for however many times I can say close enough in this video. Flip you around. There we go. I don't know why you would have your mirrors pointing the other way. Is this usual? I don't know. I think the mirrors are on the door on the F100. Again, I'm just whipping that off because it's a truck I know. So try not to judge me about this. I'm not trying to design my own stunning, elegant truck design. I'm just trying to basically take what I know about the F100 and build it with automation bits. A parody, if you will, of the F100. So, what do we have? Wheels? These are a bit later, I think. Yeah, let's have some of those. Basic truck wheels. Can we chromey them? Smooth? I don't know. Rectangular. Rectangular wheels. That's a new thing. I don't think we'll be having rectangular wheels on our car anytime soon. No, thank you. We'll have some nice chromed door handles. I believe that is pretty par for the course of the 1950s. There we go. Whoa! What are you doing, camera? Camera, get back where I want you to be and I can build my door handles. You'd think that would be an easy enough request. I think these can be brought down just a little, make it easier to reach them if you're not an ultra tall guy or girl. I think that's about it. And there is a way. Yeah. I think I know what to do here. Yeah. These are gonna do a job. I know technically integrated lights won't exist yet, but as I say, it's basically a bad whip-off of a Ford F100 by this point. But I could do a lot worse. Badge? We need to add badges, obviously. What looks like a whip-off badge? They're all loading in for some reason still. Ooh. Oh yes, it's it's a deer. I don't know. Oh, it's basically my car company. Oh dear. Play on words, lols. Anyway, we need another deer on the front. But where? On this bonnet thing. He can have his own little platform, actually. This grill does make sense after all. Praise thee, dear, because he is oh dear of my company. Oh dear, the company that's always in financial trouble. Yeah, look at that. He's kind of on his platform. I think that's a neat little touch. Try and bring the camera in just a bit. And then we can add our exhaust tips. What is this? No. It's not gonna work. Just add some poopy holes on the back. And then we can duplicate them. I think we can. Mirror, there we go. This is not the standard way. Yeah, we've got like dual exhausts going up between the tail lights. I'm feeling weirdly proud of what I've done. I should probably hang my head in shame. But hey, I'm not doing that right now. Where are the bumper bars? Bumper bars. And there we go. No, I think it was this one we used. I'm not sure if there's a difference between like metal and plastic and all that. But you have a small bumper. You've not been as good as the front of the vehicle, so you don't deserve as big a bumper as him. There we go. It kind of works. It's not meant to be looked after. It's meant to be beaten up. It's a farm truck. We're having rear-wheel drive. And should we have an automatic? Sure. What could possibly go wrong? Open differential. My headlights seem to have gone a bit funny. They think they're enclosed headlights. We'll have to deal with that. Come on. I don't know. Does it? It doesn't even want to acknowledge they're here. No? Come on. Try flipping them. Yeah, that worked. Flipping them round. I don't know why that would work. It just would. Radials apparently exist, but I don't think they're mainstream tyres yet, so we won't be putting those in. It's an inline 6 in there. Needs a V8, really. I can just tell that now. Needs a V8 for what power this car should have. We can go with some medium? Maybe no, hard. Hard or medium? Or we could go with off-road. I don't think that's what is going to be the only use though. So long life tyres is probably the best choice. 195s. I think they're too wide. It sounds ridiculous, but I don't think we need 195s. If we're only putting down 200 horsepower, I think 185 should be good. Mind, they are cross plies, so I don't know. Low rolling resistance, as if that's going to matter when the front is slab-sided like that. We could bring the back out just a bit there. I mean, I would say make the rears wider than the fronts, but that's not really a practical decision for everyday vehicles. We're going to be adding on the brakes because we want this thing to really slow down. And I think those wheels, although they're a stock size, I think I'll keep them at that size. And unless actually, maybe 15s. Maybe I can make them just a little bigger and get away with it. Yeah. It looks like I can. Any bigger, I can't really get away with it, but I can just about get away with the width I want and the wheel size at 15 inches. So that's not too bad. I'm reasonably happy with that. 185s, and yep, you have maybe sneaked those wheels back in, haven't you? I don't like it when you do that. So, steel old wheels, yes. And we will go make the brakes bigger, perhaps, to 40mm, to 25mm. There we go. And we'll go with no under tray, or we could go with an off-road one. Sure, we'll go with an off-road one. It's one of the vehicles that might need it, although you're not going to be doing much off-roading. It's possible if it's on a construction site, it might help to just have that bit of underside protection on it. It's worth using, I think. We can go with a bench seat on the front, sure, or in the middle more like. We'll go with a standard interior and a standard radio. I say because we want this to be a decent truck, but we don't want it to prioritise usability over, well, we don't want it to prioritise usability over practicality, because otherwise it doesn't become a work vehicle. Same with a radio, just basic AM radio, because that's all we really need in a work vehicle. But at the same time, you don't want nothing. You at least want the driver to have some form of in-car entertainment. No safety, nah. We could go with standard. I think standard 50s personally, although I may change that to advanced if the market truly desires it. Again, we'll go with standard springs unless the market desires it. And utility for the suspension. So utility premium, heavy utility. Well, considering it's a light duty pickup truck, well, that's pretty okay. 8.7 miles per gallon. I do wonder though. I did go with an automatic here. Maybe I shouldn't have. Heavy utility prefers a manual. Utility seems to be pretty pro-auto. Or utility premium, that is. Heavy utility, yeah. It changes, but I'd be remembering that a Ford, I think, was it. At least one of the pickup trucks from this era did have a 4-speed transmission, so that's not entirely out of the question. It also makes it more efficient having the 4-speed manual over 2-speed automatic, so I think it's no question at this point this is a better way to go. It's probably quicker as well. So what have we got here? It looks vaguely like a gasser by this stage. We can look back at the suspension and see what else helps us. So comfort came up as muscle for a moment. Heavy utility 56.6, and where is it? Heavy utility likes normal, but they like comfort the most. Ooh, that is very interesting. So, I guess I'm going for more of a heavy-duty truck here. It's not what I was originally intending, but clearly that's what the market desires. 56.6 there, but off-road, look at that. That suspension travel is just crazy. Comfort is probably crazy, but yeah, comfort is like how you would see an F100. Off-road is wild, but at the same time, if they do intend on really doing heavy utilitarian tasks with it, I can't fault them. We can go with some chunky off-road. Yes, they do like that one. Heavy utility. And we're still rear-wheel drive, remember. That doesn't help, amazingly. I was just wondering how it would affect it, but it doesn't actually help. And we've got our off-road tyres there. Our off-road leaf springs on the back. I guess it's like a early version of a Ford Raptor from the 50s. We could have a manual locker or an automatic locker as well. Ooh, heavy utility really likes that. 77.9. But they don't like the automatic one, which I can understand because you want control over when it locks. 79.6. And I'm guessing... No? Okay. I'm not going front wheel drive. That is not the American way. It's not the American way to build a pickup truck. So I'm not building a pickup truck with front wheel drive. Especially not in the not in the front wheel drive. That doesn't make any sense. Especially not in the 50s, should I say. 78.1. And yeah, I think rear wheel drive can be made to work. I think this is for people who want a heavier duty off-road work or rescue truck in the 50s by the looks of it. That's the direction it's going in. I can't particularly complain about that. It's just, if people want a rescue truck, I can provide it for that market. We can go with a basic interior, which heavy utility seems to like, actually. I wouldn't have said so, but that seems to be, again, where they're going. All-wheel drive or front-wheel drive is where they were really going, but I'm not having all that power going to the front wheels, regardless of the circumstances. Yeah, it's a bit strange. How many seats? Why would they want less seats? Again, I'm going to make that one of the exceptions where I ignore the markets, because I know it's just stupid to have less seats in your car for no reason. Unless there's a legitimate comfort reason, but it's not a comfort vehicle. The vehicle purely exists for reasons of practicality. It's very, very light. Maybe that's why it suggests front-wheel drive. 1258 kilograms. I'm interested to see the weight balance. 62 front, not as bad as it could have been. But yeah, this is probably why we see front-wheel drive. We could add that. Yep, they like their safety. They like their advanced safety. I can't blame them for that, because that is a very practical feature to have on your car. But certain other features I can. Now, I think we have to go with a large V8, although I say that I've got an inline 6 in here, and it's tipping the scales on the front end quite a bit. I don't like that one bit. And what do we have? Actually, I'm thinking now, because we're going in more of the off-road direction, perhaps double wishbone on the front isn't the best option. So if we look here, off-road solid axle coil is better. But we have to keep this to a 50s budget, remember, so yeah. Solid axle coil would be very good off-road, but if I go with leaf all round, that will give me a good balanced truck, I think, for off-roading. Still, it's added weight to the front, I believe. As that's my look, I guess. We'll go with some different settings. No, sport, utility, off-road, custom. No, off-road. Progressive. We don't like progressive. Don't want no fancy springs. And don't want that. Don't want that. It's tempting, it is. Well, I guess if they do really want it that much, although I don't see much point. Okay. Actually, I've just had a ridiculous idea. I know it's 1957 and I said I wouldn't want to reduce myself to this, but because of how front biased the driveline is, and a clear market bias to front-wheel drive over all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, I'm thinking maybe I should just re-engineer the engine to have a different kind of approach. So, for example, we can have an inline 4 of about 2.5 litres. It will be less refined. That will be inescapable. However, we will have, hopefully, an engine that still gets power. It could probably still get as much power from this as you can from a half-decent American inline 6 because of the overhead cam design as opposed to the overhead valve, which is pushrod, and that should be able to provide us with the performance. We've got one single exhaust though. Make it last. Wait, so what have we got on the carburetor? We've got a single 2-barrel. We can go with twin eco. They're pretty good for economy actually. So yes, as I was saying, just re-engineer the car completely is probably a good option at this stage. 111 horsepower. Wow. We can bring this through. Yes, 109, 110. And then try and balance this out. Nope, I messed it up. If I can bring this back down. Yes, that's excellent. If I can bring this back down, I can maintain a more steady power curve. As you'll see here, we have 110 horsepower, reasonably stable power and torque curve, even if they're not the highest figures in the world. And they're not even that far behind what America's got going for them. And this is from a European kind of engine, remember? The power at least isn't that far behind. I'm going to keep the twin eco carburetor, even if it's not the most effective, because it's going to make this thing incredibly economical for its day. We could have a ignition timing increase. Come on. Oh. You don't like that too much when I mess with you. And there we go. 111. I think that's what I'll go with. Let's hear it. So, it's not the highest revving unit in the world, as I've just realised, actually. The valve float is ridiculous. What's actual RPM I'm going to be able to get from it? 75, 76. 76, and 5100. But it can do more, that's the thing. The engine is capable of so much more. But it's just not doing so much more because it can't be pushed. It's just not a high revving unit. I wonder what the market says about this. It probably hates me for it. No, they love me. They love me because I've put a more efficient yet less powerful engine in this thing. And then I can put front wheel drive in, or 4-wheel drive even if you so decide. And it's better in all configurations, I believe. We can go 104. Yeah, it's not about top speed. There were low power American trucks though, at about however much 120 horsepower with the inline 6s, although this will clearly get decimated by them. I don't think I'm doing half bad. I'm going to get a reasonably efficient engine as well, almost 11 miles per gallon, but then huge heavy vehicles weren't particularly heavy I'm not making sense, sorry. Weren't particularly efficient back then either. So the heavy utility class is really going up now. Seems to want me to restrict the top speed a bit more. Oh dear. And I don't want to do that though, because I pull the top speed back so much by just moving the power really, and I don't want to. I could end it all on your market streak like that. Off-road utility, yeah, it's become an off-roader. It was intended to be more of a competitor to things like the F100, but it's become more of an off-roader. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with an off-roader, it's just that's what it is. We'll go like that, yeah. I don't know. Just tiny, tiny tyres and just tiny, tiny wheels and big fat tyres. No, we don't want to mess with that. 110 point. Wait, where we go? Where are we going? 111. I see. It's just the market is being weird. It's having a weird moment. But I can see 111.8. Nope. 111.8, 112.6. Oh dear. Oh dear, that looks so stupid. Yeah, it's actually an off-roader now, like a proper off-roader. So, do you want more tyre? Because if it's only tyre, you could have just said. There we go. I think it's satisfied him now, just enough. All he wanted was a bit more tyre, and he was just getting a bit out of control over it. There we go, 205s, and the little 4-cylinder. I am impressed in this unit, though. I've not put much effort into it, and it's still getting 110 horsepower, 111 horsepower even. I didn't think I would have been able to come into it this easy and just get an engine, really. Although I'm sure, I'm sure I could have done so much better for an engine, but the fact is, it does the job that's required of it, and I can't complain about that. Those are some odd tyre descriptions. We have we have a trophy truck essentially, but front wheel drive, and funny that it's got wider tyres when it's front wheel drive. 111.4. Come on. Yes. Oh, I can only make the brakes so big because of the wheels. Come on. 113. 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, Oh, it just stops. Stops because the brakes hit a brick wall. 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. 0.8. Come on. I can't take forever. I don't know which way I'm going anymore. I think 50-50 brake bias is where it wants to go. 115.5. 6, 7. There we go. So, exact brake bias, exact tyre balance, only it's front wheel drive and it has leaf springs all around. It's basically European. because it's got a 4-cylinder engine. What can I make of this? Honestly, do you want the other seat back now? No, just I know how the market can be at times. It's like a Ford Raptor, only not like a Ford Raptor, if that makes sense. I can see kind of where they're trying to spec it to. I still don't get it myself. Like, I don't get why you would spec a truck out like this from the factory. 116.2 and off-road 119. Okay. And there we go. Markets. Off-road utility, heavy utility, an uncompromising, reliable heavy utility vehicle for economical on- and off-road use. It's kind of funny though, isn't it, when you consider it? We say uncompromising, yet an inline 4 and front-wheel drive has prevailed over a V8. It has to be longitudinal as well. There's no transverse yet. Not in the game. But yeah, it's funny how it has eventually prevailed over an engine with double the cylinders and an engine with 2 more cylinders. And they just can't compete with kind of the market, I guess. Maybe it's just the eco carburetors. Those things are amazing. There is the transmission as well. One last look in here. Oh yeah, also the wheels. Do we want chrome wheels? I don't know, but it's pretty standard for the day, so I'm going to put them on anyway. We are going to see, how fast does it go? It goes 94. I mean, this is as quick as some modern economy cars. Like, it's only a few miles per hour down on them for top speed, and 13.6, I mean, wasn't the first generation Ford KA car, whatever you call it, that fast to 60? I don't know, I feel like I recognise that number from that car. I could be wrong, but it's about the same, and that's from this. Yeah, it is ridiculous how things work out, isn't it? And that's when this isn't really desperately trying to be a good accelerating vehicle either. This is the gears set up in full kind of tight mode, I guess, so it's good for off-roading. It's weird. I'm happy with it. I'm just happy in a completely different way to what I expected. And that's all I can say. I guess for the giggles, I can take it round here, see how quick it goes. So, there we go. It's a 3-minute 10 time, which I believe in the old leaderboard was incredibly slow. And it's powered by Leguan engine. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in. It is basically a knockoff of an engine in a Brukel Leguan on BeamNG. Yeah, I'm not a very original person. I basically whipped them off, so yeah, it's the same size and everything. But anyway, what more can I say? I'm a whip-off artist that doesn't make much of an art of his deeds because I have failed in a very, very simple way. And this is what I have to perfect. Wait, where are you? I have to perfect it because if we look here, we have the window trim. That is not chrome. That was entirely wrong for the era, at least in my head. So there we go. It's fixed now. I can go to sleep happily. There's a dual exhaust that, or only a single exhaust in reality because of the output of the engine. But anyway, there we go. There's our engine. There's our car. Goodbye. Until another day.